Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a comparison, I guess, between the Samsung Galaxy S21 and the iPhone 8 Plus. What a weird comparison to do between these. Now, funny enough, I actually just dropped my iPhone 8 Plus. It was already cracked, but I just cracked it even more at the bottom, and I think I broke the home button as well. But it seems to be functioning, but it's cracked. Who knows? Now, I'll find the cheapest ones of both of these, link them down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, you can obviously tell side by side the iPhone 8 Plus is a much bigger phone in pretty much every single dimension, but the Samsung Galaxy S21 actually has the bigger display. And you may be wondering why I'm even comparing these phones, because they're like completely opposites. Like, this phone came out years ago, but it's very interesting to see. And honestly, the iPhone 8 Plus is still getting software updates for the time being, and who knows, maybe the iPhone 8 Plus may even outlast the Galaxy S21, probably not, but the iPhone 8 Plus on the front has that 5.5-inch. And funny enough, these two phones are actually the same resolution, which is actually pretty interesting. 1080p on the front. My iPhone 8 Plus just has this weird issue of just increasing the brightness even when I turn off that specific issue. And I can definitely tell you the panel, even though it is an IPS panel, even though it's not a crazy AMOLED display, it's really not that bad. I've definitely had a lot like worse panels back in the day, and this one, even in this day and age, is actually not that bad. And I kind of do miss the home button if I'm being honest. But the Samsung Galaxy S21, on the other hand, has that 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and this is a beautiful panel. This is definitely far better than the iPhone 8 Plus. You're getting that hole punch display, fingerprint sensor in the display. It is full HD, which is okay for me. It's kind of rhymed. And it's 120 hertz. I mean, this is a beautiful panel, far better than the iPhone 8 Plus for sure. And it's kind of funny because this panel is way bigger, but it's a way smaller package and it fits way better in the hand as well. On the bottom, Lightning port on the iPhone 8 Plus, USB Type-C on the bottom of the Samsung Galaxy S21. Thinness and thickness wise, the iPhone 8 Plus I think is a little bit thinner. I think the Galaxy S21 actually feels a little bit thinner, but I think the iPhone 8 Plus actually is thinner. And on the back, when you fully flip them over, you can see we have a glass back, which is cracked on mine on the iPhone 8 Plus. Samsung Galaxy S21 has this plastic back. Take it as you will. I definitely don't like it, but maybe some people don't really care about it too much. Triple camera setup on the Galaxy S21, dual camera setup on the iPhone 8 Plus. That really pretty much covers it up on the outside. There's really not a whole lot else going on. Wireless charging on both, reverse wireless charging on the Galaxy S21, which is really cool. In terms of that, that really pretty much covers it up. Now, I think one of the bigger differences, as I say in every single video, and I really don't know if it's super pertinent here, but I think the Galaxy S21 is probably going to outlast the iPhone 8 Plus. But what's funny though is that this phone came out in 2017, this phone just came out, and this is the huge difference between iOS and Android. This phone is like almost 4 years old this year, and we're still not even 100% too sure if this phone is going to outlast the S21. I want to say this phone is probably going to outlast this one, but we really don't know. Apple may extend this thing for like another 2 years on top of its, end of life. Who knows? The iPhone 7 and 7 Plus are still supported, so maybe the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and iPhone 10 may continue on. Who knows? But I do know one thing, the Samsung Galaxy S21 still has at least 3 more full versions of Android it's getting, One UI 4, One UI 5, and then One UI 6 potentially. So who knows, like this thing is going to be lasting for a long time. The iPhone 8 Plus may not continue to get software updates, so that may be one reason to pick up the Galaxy S21, but you can also just pick up like an iPhone XR or iPhone 11, which is still cheaper than the Galaxy S21, and you'll probably get a super long or lasting phone from that one than this one, to be honest. Battery life wise, I do feel like the Galaxy S21 has the better battery life here too. You're going to be getting a longer, battery. You're getting a bigger battery, 4,000 milliamp hours here versus like the 26 or 2,700 milliamp hour battery you're getting here. But on top of that, this thing has reverse wireless charging, which is kind of like a battery feature. That's definitely a feature the iPhone 8 Plus doesn't have, but it's a really cool feature at the end of the day. So in terms of that, I'll definitely tell you the iPhone 8 Plus had a long life. I think it's a beautiful device, but the Samsung Galaxy S21 is probably going to outlast it, and it really does dominate it in terms of the battery life standpoint as well. So in terms of that, that pretty much covers it up. Now let's go into a little bit of a speed comparison between both these devices. The iPhone 8 Plus has that Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM, where the Samsung Galaxy S21 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and load these things up. Let's do phone calls 3, 2, 1. All right, pretty cool. About the same actually. App stores 3, 2, 1. And you can see the Samsung Galaxy S21 definitely was far faster there. iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. Scrolling through in terms of the scroll speeds, they look kind of about the same too. Not really a big difference here. Going out of this one, let's go ahead and do their cameras. 3, 2, 1. And actually, don't know, they kind of seem to be about the same thing too. Hopping out of that one, let's go and do these third-party apps as I always do. Let's go and do Facebook. Actually, let's do Snapchat. Actually, let's just do Snapchat. 3, 2, 1. Okay, Samsung Galaxy S21 I think was faster, even though I was already logged in. Let's go ahead and do Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And for some reason, it didn't click on the iPhone 8 Plus, so I'll go ahead and just loaded it in the background, just for the RAM management's sake. And I still think it would have been faster on the S21. Let's just get into some gameplay in this app though. And you can kind of see the screen quality difference too. I mean, look at the pitch black that you're getting on the Samsung Galaxy S21 versus the kind of black on the iPhone 8 Plus. Definitely a little bit of a difference. Stack. 3, 2, 1. And Samsung Galaxy S21 definitely was faster to get into the ad. iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can definitely see the Galaxy S21 is far faster in terms of that than the iPhone 8 Plus. It's quite a bit of a difference. I mean, we're fully loaded on the S21, just got loaded on the iPhone 8 Plus, so that definitely was a bigger difference than I thought. Getting into some gameplay, as you guys can see, about the same. I mean, I really never see any differences in terms of those games. Fruit Ninja 3, 2, 1. This is going to be another case where they're going to be on two different versions and all that. But even to get into the half brick logo was faster on the S21, and you can see we're kind of on the same, kind of update. And the S21 is fully loaded. Of course, the iPhone 8 Plus has an issue there. Hopping out of this one, let's do Quizlet 3, 2, 1. And iPhone 8 Plus, yeah, definitely slower there. Hopping out of this one, let's do Bofa 3, 2, 1. And Galaxy S21 is faster. iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. Hopping out of this one, let's do Twitter 3, 2, 1. And again, S21 is faster. iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. And that really pretty much covers up all the apps I wanted to test. And it already kind of answered my question that the Samsung Galaxy S21 is pretty much the faster one in every single angle. I think the iPhone 8 Plus definitely had its strong suits, and I actually do think the iPhone 8 Plus may be still a smoother phone in general. I feel like even with the 120 hertz on the S21, it gives it a better appeal. But I feel like the iPhone 8 Plus still has a lot going for it. Surprisingly, it's still extremely smooth. I didn't really notice it being super slow. Of course, it was slower, but I didn't notice it like being that much slower. So give it as you will or say what you will, but I think the iPhone 8 Plus still has a pretty strong, asset when it comes down to its performance. So in terms of that, that pretty much covers it up. Let's go and hit on the cameras. On the back of the iPhone 8 Plus, we have a dual camera setup, wide angle lens and a telephoto lens. The Galaxy S21 has a wide angle lens, telephoto lens, and an ultra wide sensor. And in terms of the UIs on both, you can see again pretty much the same thing. You can do 4K on the back of the iPhone 8 Plus, but only 4K at 30, 1080p at 30 on the front of the 8 Plus as well. The iPhone with the Galaxy S21, on the other hand, can do 8K, 4K 60 on the back standard, 8K on the back of this S21, as well as 4K 60 on the front. Now with the iPhone 8 Plus, I'm sure everyone knows, I mean, you've probably seen reviews of this camera, you've seen everybody talk about it. It wasn't a bad camera, I think it was actually pretty good, but I think when you compare it to something like the Galaxies even of that year, I like the fact that it had a dual camera setup. This thing came out in 2017. The cameras of that year were the S8 Plus and those type of phones. But I really do think, with the next generation with the iPhone XS, they eventually did go up to 4K at 60 and 1080p at 60 on the front. The S21 definitely does kill it in terms of video resolutions. But when you look at it in terms of an app standpoint, the apps that I use the camera on for the iPhone 8 Plus, things like Snapchat, Instagram, things like that, the camera is so much more optimized there. The Samsungs and Androids, I don't know what it is, they have better lenses in the cameras app. But in terms of everything else, it's just kind of weirder. But the Samsung Galaxy S21 really does kill it in terms of the camera. I mean, you're getting a much wider array in terms of the camera lenses you can use. So you're getting obviously that ultra wide sensor. You're getting that type of capability, which is awesome in and of itself. But you're also getting way more video resolutions you can film it. You can do 8K, on the back, which I don't think anybody's really going to use in the first place. But you still have that capability. You do get brighter overall photos from what I've seen. They actually look sharper and brighter at the same time. Even here, like I'm definitely kind of seeing it. Overall, at the end of the day, what I can definitely tell you, the S21 has the better camera for sure than the iPhone 8 Plus at the end of the day. So to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, which specific device should you pick up? Should you buy the Samsung Galaxy S21 or should you buy the iPhone 8 Plus? Well, this is pretty much what I'll tell you. If you have an iPhone 8 Plus, I would recommend going to an S21. I think that would be pretty cool, but I wouldn't even be in a dire need to. I feel like even after this comparison that I just did, really the iPhone 8 Plus isn't really missing out on too much from the newest iPhones, and because of that, it really doesn't make me, have like a huge reason to go from an iPhone 8 Plus to a Galaxy S21. I would rather go from like a Galaxy S. I would rather go from like an iPhone 8 Plus to something like a Galaxy S20 Plus or a Galaxy S20 Ultra. Those phones have glass backs. Those phones have expandable storage. I do like those type of things more than what the Samsung Galaxy S21 brought. This is kind of like a watered down version of those phones, but it's still a really good device. The iPhone 8 Plus though surprised me. I mean, this phone killed it today. Like it had a really good build quality, better than the S21. It had arguably better. It didn't have better performance, but it had surprising performance. I wasn't expecting this thing to do as good as it did, and I think that in and of itself again is another huge reason why the iPhone 8 Plus is just a king in that standpoint. Now, I will tell you. I'm not going to sit here and say the S21 is worse than the 8 Plus. The S21 is a better phone in pretty much every single angle, maybe besides build quality. But I don't know. For the price of this phone, for 799, it's still kind of expensive. You can pick up this phone for like 300 bucks nowadays, and that's like less than half the price of this one. And I don't think it's half the phone. I think this, like, if this phone was a 10 out of 10, and this thing is probably like a 7 out of 10, maybe like a 6.7 out of 10. Like, it's definitely not like a half the phone. It's not a 5 out of 10 or anything like that. So I'll definitely tell you, this device is probably the one that has more features and stuff at the end of the day. But this device is still surprising, and I would probably recommend people, if you have this, keep it. If you want to upgrade, go for it. But I wouldn't really be pressured to go from an iPhone 8 Plus to an S21 or an iPhone 8 Plus to the newest iPhones. Like I just don't see that big of a difference. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly, everything else, every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.